Hello and welcome to the 6th Street and Avenue B Garden. We're having a poetry event and it's going to be myself and Joanie, Zosike, and also Jessica Slote reading poems. And we welcome you. Unfortunately, since we have no events happening in the garden, we can't have an open mic, and you'll see we're editing these appearances together. So I'm going to start with a reading from my new manuscript called Mount Eden Avenue. And this poem is called My Six Windows, or Four Directions, and it's a Shabbat prayer. Holy, holy, open the windows. Holy, holy, HDTV. Holy, holy, holy Best Western. Holy, holy, Avenue B. Holy, holy, Avalon Building. Holy, holy, Transit Fair Hike. Holy, holy, Whole Foods and Starbucks. Holy, holy, huts to the schools. Holy, holy, student housing. Holy Harlem and Avenue D. Holy, holy, hundreds of channels. Holy, holy, reality TV. Holy Ghost Spirit, Holy Shekhinah, Chiki or Prana, always with you. Everything, anything, dust of the mountain, tears of the ocean, instant of time, anything, everything, mountain of dust, and oceans of tears, infinity mine. And now we're going to hear some poetry from Jessica Slote. J.P. Slote is a poet, actor, and educator. Co-founder of Loretta Auditorium, a collective of theater artists, she's the author of Loretta Auditorium Presents The Body of Loretta, 3 plays on the pornography of power, free will on the free market, and arousal in the public realm, published by Fly By Night Press, available in August at www.tribes.org. Slote is a native New Yorker. She lives and works on the Lower East Side, the neighborhood of her immigrant forebears, where she teaches literature and writing to a new generation of young adult immigrants. Welcome, Jessie.
Go, said the bird, for the leaves were full of children hidden excitedly, containing laughter. Go, 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 said the bird. Humankind cannot bear very much reality. T.S. Eliot, Burnt Norton. Go, said the bird. Pablo Casal's bow dipping and bowing across the great belly of a cello, asserting and commenting, broad strokes and resounding ripples. Bach cello suites. Elephants gather round the exposed bones of a family member, taking turns, solemn and thoughtful, unhurried, in time. An elder performs a slow, unhurried ballet with the sensitive funnel at the end of his trunk, meditative and dignified, remembering, retracing the curves of the bones, even exploring the inner cavity carved out by bone. Casal's bow sweeps forward, falls back, measured call and response, delineating here, now, then, there. Like a large bird climbing and diving, like a painter painting the world. Cut to children's laughter, soundtrack only, children unseen, laughing gaily along an unseen path. The approach, für Jovan, with apologies. In a slow hour without time, light is both wave and particle. Molecule by molecule dimming. A symphony beginning in lemon, traveling towards darkness. Exquisite in diminishing notes. Ochre to gray, tuning the palate, the timing, the ear to grasp sound in silence, the eye to devour tiniest detail, a woman's adagio of laughter. Out. Cascade of glass bottles in a garbage can. Last chirp of an unseen bird. Shadow of a bough swaying on an open door, a screen door, framing swaying branch, leafed. Black geometry of fire escapes, scaling brick, a tenement facade. Until now, long rectangles of burnished amber, vertebrae set in a wall of nightshade. Some explosions not too far off. Summer is coming. Artists Confiteor, Coney Island. Once you have had about as much as you can take. Peerless blue sky, infinity of horizon. Once the sea, burning with the sun, burns itself into your retina. Clarity of the horizon burning into your brain. You can no longer say no to this day of days. To surrender is mortal and divine. Sun and sea and sky, refracted light and vastness of infinity, the infinite horizon burned onto the back of your eye, shimmering flickers on the cave walls of your dark skull. Once you close your eyes, hours later, the majesty of that light lives on the small screen cinema of your shut eyes. Remorseless, unknowing, living light. Once all that has happened, you cannot go back to your small, dark apartment and pay bills. Lying in a stupor, eyes closed, on the bed, by the window, on the garden. The sea continues its discourse with the sun and its blue vault and the sand. Prologue to New Science, a play. Narrator, dawn. Wind blowing. A vast distant city, spires, towers, blocks, ravines. Slate blues, blue grays, gray greens. A distant vision, science fiction. Futuristic city of spires, reflecting the light of dawn as it is reflected off the waters onto a monumental crystal of glass towers. Narrator, gradual crescendo of millions of souls waking, startup sound of a city awaking, chorus of a million distant, unseen souls, rising in a slow but always building crescendo. Like desire. Chorus sings the oratorio of the cities. Cities of the mountains, cities of the plains, city of harbors, city of brotherly love, city of monetary exchange, city of Our Lady of Sorrows, city of the great King, city of the ancient prophet and the future prophet, city of the 7 hills, city of the straits, city of enchantments, city of sacrificial lambs, city of love, city of fear. Narrator, civilities, vanities, crimes, misfortunes, misunderstandings, lust, defeat, outrage, despair, city of the future, city of the past, city of the present, city of the chosen people. At its peak, like a wave, this chorus of souls crashes, dissipates into indistinct rhythms, broken chords. The light changes, rosy light washing over 10 million mirrors of glass. Image, celestial dawn. Video, long lines of cars on a highway at night, red lights receding, white lights approaching. Sonata with divinity. The mortals are rushing with a maddened pace. At every second, every step, at every street corner, they are making decisions, choices. In 10 million simultaneous trajectories, in 10 million simultaneous cities across the world, the mortals are speeding into the future, driven by their cars, jets, biological imperatives, fears, and desires. Light changes. A rosy light washes over 10 million mirrors of light, of glass, video, long lines of cars on a highway. Red lights receding, white lights approaching, celestial dawn. Their spouses, lovers, bosses, employees, and ancestors, descendants are compassionate, belligerent, contemptuous, challenging, relentless, and demanding. A giant ramp juts directly out of the city, like a mouth pouring out from the heart of the streets onto the apron stage of consciousness. The hours of their days are tormented cycles of madness. Their madness pursues them into their precious few hours of sleep. Directly out of the heart of the city, down the ramp, onto the stage of consciousness speeds the first car, a chariot of the gods. In the car is a divinity. The divinity speaks. The mortals are happy! With a savage determination, they get drunk, get high, they party! As news of a desperate world is transmitted relentlessly through all their pores. Scene note, hubris. Pity the city. Are you all doomed? Will you stand aside and let history trample you and your race in your vain pursuit of what? Speech from a representative of the mortals. Dear members of the public, please do not be disconcerted by the scene you have just witnessed, for you see, we are chosen people. Cannibals, I can hear you say. No, ladies and gentlemen, we are not cannibals. You see, we are a tribe. We go by many names, bona fide humans, God's special favorites. But in the end, for purposes of economy, we've boiled it down to simply the human beings. Those other creatures you saw are not members of our tribe, hence they are not human beings. You see, to be human is to be logical. It is logical thinking that distinguishes us from the beasts. In addition to logic, we observe the sacred laws given to us directly by divinity. The divinity who gives us providence in the form of all we do not know. Divinity smiles upon us. Ah, meine Damen und Herren, Madame et Monsieur, therein lies the beauty of it. For you see, you beautiful public, we are condemned to name the contradictions, to be able to reflect on them. That is the freedom of our time. Otherwise, we have our addictions. We're addicted to gustatorial pleasures, sartorial aesthetics, robust health, and fornication. To peace. Peace corrupts life. We're addicted to life. Idealism rescues cynicism. I hate inconveniencing my friends. Let's fix it here. Zealots, please! Representatives, dites franchement. Let's speak frankly. Systematic disenfranchisement, literally dying. We expanded the franchise. No gang lapel wear, do unto others, random and intelligent. slippery slope. Not free because devoid of meaning, but free because we can create meaning. I knew that this machine is what my ancestors called God. What does it mean to be human?
Joanie H.F. Zosike, 2019 Writers Hotel Sarah Patton Poetry Stipend recipient, hosts Pandemic Poetry Workshop through School of Creative Judaism in New York City. She is published in Between Ourselves, Letters Between Mothers and Daughters, Women in American Theater, and 11/9, The Fall of American Democracy. Chapbooks include character poems, Shay, and Bliss Not Wait, anthologized in Ides, Silver Birch Press. A frequent contributor to Silver Birch Press's blog at https://silverbirchpresswordpress.com, she also appears in Bastille, Dissident Voices, Heresies, Home Planet News, Jewish Forward, Levure Littéraire, Maintenant, Public Illumination Magazine, or PIM, and Syndic. Joanie received an Albee Fellowship for her play Inside, produced at American Theater for Actors in New York as a NISCA regrant for 12 Steps to Murder at the New Theater, and a Foundation for Jewish Culture grant for And Then the Heavens Closed, performed at the Jewish Museum, New York City. She acted with the Living Theater for 30 years, directs Dada New York, and co-directs Action Racket Theater. She splits her time between the Lower East Side and Ocean County, New Jersey, where she's a part-time caregiver to her 94-year-old mom.
Hello, it's me, Joanie, Joanie H.F. Zosike, and I'm going to read a few poems for you. I want to thank Mindy Levokove for putting this together, and I am loving being able to do some poetry with Mindy and Jessie Slote, two great friends and colleagues. So, here we go. This first piece is actually written for a friend of mine and perhaps yours who passed away recently. And if you know her, you know her, and if you don't, you'll know her by the end of this poem. Remembering Betty LaRoe. She was a poet, a Floridian, a dancer, and a Dada, a playwright, a dervish, a joker, an erudite witch. She sewed flamboyant pillows for the Rockefellers. She was urbane and down-home, a raconteur and a chef. Made the best deviled eggs. Gave pouches with candy, toys, and notepads to guests who came to those high-rockin' nights at Chez Leroux, a clandestine waterhole for mind and soul, where poets, artists, musicians, actors, and friends amassed as fabulous Betty held court and sway. Yes, she was all that. What a magnanimous mama she was to the Shea gang. Interns and 20-somethings gathered around her with legend and gleam in their eyes. Bea was unstoppable. She started her own small press, published her own books, her friends' books, carefully crafting her hand-bound babies. Every action a mantra of love in seminal, sanctified space. Her avant-garde loft was strung year-round with Christmas lights. She erected a 6-foot-tall Christmas tree yearly, single-handedly, then presided with grace over seders and festivals of light. I recall the first time I saw her on stage at La Mama. Heard her actually, a voice supernaturally full, nuanced, how expressive her quizzical face, mischievous eyes, and how adept her choices. I knew I had to act with her. Unashamed, I pursued a chance. I'll do your play if I can play across that actress B. Leroux. And play we did for many long years on multiple platforms. We were tortoises in a one-page play running a painstaking race. Cows in a ring larder romp, Dada divas and Witcherlies, eating healthily, navigating phrases, piloting curves, acting in life, protesting in the streets, commiserating about broken loves and the folly of bad presidents, laughing and smoking and getting edgy, living with the living, counting the losses, never ever thinking about the inevitable moment that would come to one of us first. In the midst of the multiple emergencies of our time, you sail away. Your savant being joins the collective mind with a wistful sigh. No long goodbye. You took a cue from some untold place within. Passionate, never maudlin, you closed the door, left it slightly ajar. Go now, dear bee. Open new vistas. Unleash your irresistible smile. So that was B. Is B. Shall ever be. A grapefruit-sized hole in space. Turning along with everything else in the universe is a portal to the infinite, shooting stars, winnowy, fiery trails gone nova, not meaning new, but novad, since stella is feminine. Thus, nova is a shortening of nova stella. Does that make sense to you? Omni povas instrui al maljuna hundo nova rojon. They can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, that clears up everything. How far is that exploding star from here? 1 light year is about 6 trillion miles, 9 trillion kilometers. Can you picture it? I can't, but I'm not so good with math. You parse it out, please. Use a calculator. By the time Earthlings see it, perhaps millions of years will have passed. 2. Thank you, Sir Arthur Eddington, for a portal into my personal, long ago, not nuclear event. It was in fusion in the flesh, delicious and hot. You burned this body through and through as a falling star fell. Somewhere a distant body suffered and died. No blame. We took it as a cosmic sign in time to melt the fine compressing lime with the heft of our earthly forms. Our bodies snapped together as if they were covered in magnets. From that point on, we were inseparable until I was your white dwarf. You called me kumquat because, well, reader, you can guess the because. You were my handsome roche lobe. Sometimes angry and red, together we formed a tear-shaped region in space. We traveled together for a while from late fall to early spring with a mid-sized accident on Christmas Eve, was it? Almost imploded, but dodged that cosmic bullet. We thought we were so wild and free, young as we were, and governed by passion and fashion. It's tricky to be a binary system. That's why the teardrop shape is so apt. Despite our gravitational equipotential, we were on a collision course to self-obliteration. But wasn't it fine and grand at first, all parading around near naked stalks in the nuzzling California sun, as viewed from faraway galaxies? You with your rakish cape, me orbiting in full slips and feathers, when we went out to paint the sky. But the quadrant painted us before we could paint it back, as we realized that space has no mercy. The damned big accident occurred. Who split off first is anyone's question. But it was cataclysmic. I see you running still, tail between your legs, as you traipse across the sky. To the human eye, you are magical, significant, and dead. Long after the event, you ask to be forgiven. All these years hence, it's atoms under the bridge, compared to one big explosion that happened tomorrow. This next poem, Oz, is from a new suite of poems I'm working on called Awakens in Me a Golem. Do you know Oz means strength in Hebrew? I know nothing of my people, nothing of my language. I am less than a Jew, more than a heathen, not even a Catholic or Muslim. I don't capitalize anything. I don't capitalize on suffering. As people, we are sufferers, suffering inexplicable life. Chazak, too, means strength, and strength means muchness. I am confused. Can I love anything with the total muchness of my heart? Chazak will be my next tattoo. Is that the best you can do? I want knowledge to seep under my fingernails without any effort. When I was young, I wanted to play Chopin without learning scales or the circle of fifths. I want to know Hebrew because it is in my blood. Even more than Yiddish, the Mamelotian code from Oberdeutschen Ursprungs with Slavic slashes. It stands on its own two grammatic feet. Yiddish is an entry point for Yiddish culture. But Hebrew! We spoke it somewhere in harsh Egypt or on the desert crossing over to Mount Nebo, never getting to Canaan. Look below. We will overrun the marauders who took our promised land from God, and we will speak Hebrew. Hebrew! When Israel was in Egypt's land, Israelites could understand what oppression meant to them. They refused to kiss the hem, and they fled. And they fed on sandflies and matzah till the golden calf came home. The calf had wings and worked for the witch, and Korach and his followers were swallowed in the desert, and the circle of history goes on as heathens all choke on yellow sand. Reminder. Don't forget the first note you ever heard, the sound of your first cry as air invaded your lungs, as the pain of breathing unassisted became pleasurable. After came the autonomic response, organic bellows. The mother voice, sweet, familiar, oh, she's beautiful. Strange utterance, coupled with the heat of mother body. Sound and warmth becoming forever interlaced. The Father voice, timorous, rumbling as it were, from the widely perceived voice of God, transforming from fearful into a mountain on which to climb, onto which to cling. Other sounds, clattering of dishes, bells, telephones, machinery, car motors, a universe of unidentified, unwanted utterances, at last quelled by the nursery. But the first sound you heard with your nose, heart, toenails, and soul was the lilt of your first utterance, the roots from which you blossomed, your tree of song. Pathless Land. This poem was published in Maintenant 13 about a year ago. One huge abomination after another. It's raining stupidity. Men, women, others. Big bulbous drops of beyond, dripping. Insipidity, cupidity, morbidity, mediocrity. Below me. Plink, blink, thud. Clog the bowl with fat drops of emes. Means truth in Yiddish. The Hebrew, emet, begins with the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, expands with one of the two middle letters, Mem, ends with the last letter, Tet. The word emet, hence, encompasses the entire gamut of reality. You call this reality? Truth-picks, tooting horns. The truth is shit. Alternative truth-sayers, shit. Soothsayers are completely fed up with the shit. The believers of shit are shit. Shit for brains. A sorry methane mess of mass discombobulation coats the atmosphere. The entire globe gasps. I can't breathe. Collaborative poem with Guillaume Apollinaire after Ocean of Earth. I wrote this a couple days ago. I have built a house in the middle of the ocean. Its windows are rivers rushing from my eyes. Octopi are crawling all over the walls. Hear their triple heartbeats beat. Their peaks perk against the glass of this house, this monstrous skyscraper in the middle of the ocean. 102 stories of dampness, 204 stories burning in wet night, September's rapid bright sun, autumn of sirens and weeping buses. The jumbo jets have lain platypus eggs. Watch out for people flying through splintered windows. Watch out for the shooting black ichor. It would be good if you came to me from the sky. Yet you, sky, honeysuckler climbing my thigh. Earthly octopi are throbbing out of empathy as they scale molten bullocks. Oh, pale octopi of chalky waves clinging to crossbeams. Oh, octopi with pale beaks and eyes of steam, your beaks forever hidden in secret tomes around a skeleton of ash, describing the ashy ocean you navigate so well. And lastly, collage number 5-2. It's a city of minarets and microfish, red skies above. Clip-clop of high heels swells into a backbeat for Jimmy, kissing a psychedelic sky. A keel-billed toucan accordionist accompanies Grace Jones, who sings the Jealousy Tango. The long, lean legs of a blue fish are parted by a pussycat who nibbles at her crotch. Above the copper-domed mosque, Fox News casts its ravenous red, white, and blue cast over the Mesopotamian scene below. I wonder, where are the Jews? We were so gay in so many ways we didn't deny anything. Be we fish or pussy, it's all the same. Music's in the cloud, overtake the fame machine. One genuine note is louder than all the false prayers of the zealots and despots. Be at peace in my city, the city lives in my head. I'm at peace in my city, city of the dead. That's it.
Thank you so much, Joanie and Jessie, two very, very fine poets and gifted actors. It's always a pleasure to see and hear you. I'm Mindy Levokove. I'm a multimedia performance poet and have been writing and performing poetry, music, songs, and dance in New York City since the early 1980s. I'm an active member of Brevitas, and we write and send each other poetry twice a month. I'm also an active member of the Global Water Dances and have been dancing and hosting sites with them since 2011. Most recently, I finished a collection of poetry called Mount Eden Avenue, which is getting ready to be published very soon. I've taught a variety of subjects in a variety of settings. Currently, I'm teaching Qigong and Tai Chi online. And I hope very soon to be returning to IRL, in real life teaching, at EVA, which is a part of community access. This one is called Maudie and Jane. It's for Pat Russell, a member of the Garden, and Joanie Hieger Zosike, who's one of our readers today. Jane sat in her grave. Then she took a bath. Maudie, just born, forgot to wash, forgetting how. Who cares? When I sit in the sand, I dig my own grave. How long do I sit? Two. In the end, Maudie died, and they took a bath in heaven. This one is called Alphabetville, missing page 2. Page 1. The apple is on the broadcast. The apple is bowling. The bread is in the corner. The bird is in the cabbage. The cat is on the dog. The cup is on the dish. The deal is in the east. The dig is in the exit. The egg is on the fence. The end is on the first. The next page is missing. Page 3. The owl is on a pie. The otter is with a pig. The pilot is quiet. The pencil is quick. The queen is right-handed. The question is holding roses. The real is simple. The rule is struggling. The snake is in a tree. The snack is on a telephone. The truth is underwater. The time is understood. The umbrella is before the verb. The understudy is vanishing. The vat is with the wind. The verse is wild. The wig is with the wagon. The wood and the wagon are being Xeroxed. The X-ray is yawning. The xylophone is yellowing. The yacht has a zipper. The yak has a zipper. The zipper is zen. The zen is zipper. The next poem is called Talking. I am looking at you through the eyes of one language. You treat vowels like consonants over my body. I try to find comfort. My fears crack against the concrete, sloping edges, halting speech, action to bits. This one is called Summer Drum Song. Come under my wing, I'll pull you sleeping to skyward boat that swims over, under every bearded cloud, dipped in deep, open, circular sky. This one is love poem and thanks for the Maya culpa. Crossing the board, thanks for the minute, thanks for the blues. Ultimate epiphany, struck dumb by light and use. Wearing shoes or not? Hearing news, the what? No dead cat? Hunker down, butterscotch rising. Hear the laughter in the sleeve. Like me, the maestro, I pilot. I do have a lip of rim, a toe hold. Another sunset and dawn. Rigmarole, folderol, rock and roll stolen. Let me count the ways. Who, ow, ow, amen, ra, ram. This one is called Mount Eden Avenue. It's in two parts, a beginning and an end. Mount Eden Avenue is over the top where she is forgetting the breakfast of champions. Deserted in the sky to become a can of worms. Here's the fish tank when she meant to go to the beach. She is frozen. She is also forgetting the drum roll. 2. If everything I know and everything you know can be stored in boxes marked with meaning, there, all arranged, on a platform neatly placed like plates on a table, hearts open. It's already waiting, already there. This one, not in my manuscript. She carries her dog gently. She carried her dog gently, blind, across the street. Bus, truck, noise, sudden, early, with petals, lavender and pink. Route 22, Park Avenue, sharp right, letters fly by. Delivery guys and grocers, men in carts with fishing rods, cement mixers, police trucks, everyone with diabetes, methadone maintenance, the boy reading across the road, a store for rent. Who could afford it? Soft fly on window wall, yellow truck of beer in flavors, bus and taxi, bicycles, junkies with canes, and so forth. Drake's ringdings down the road, strong mama with load, cleric dressed in white to say hello to God, painted fire hydrant, blue, red, orange, at 7 a.m. And this one, Golden Corner Shout Out. Part 1. How various! This is my precious metal spot, my ocean nature, moth, sand, timeless, blue denim ballet, gypsy gold, twisting whistle bus. She holds the rail, she holds her bag, she holds her face, her shoulder, leans, metal and gold, glad, and the grit. Part 2. Purple man, arms swinging, blue van, swims across. Baby, giant cranberry tulip hat, leading arms, hands, finger reach. 3. Gray man, stunning, scarf a la mode, mountain skin, newish teeth. I love, love, love. Oh, blue mop, asleep on a red wall. March, march, full arms pumping, hearts. You go to Vegas and watch the show. Horsefly stunning, charcoal and bone, symmetry sweet, fall fashion, wings, touch like loving you hands. Forward, toward, folding more than there is now ever. Yesterday, today, meanwhile embracing world you with my beloved tilt. And this one, East Coast Choices. Somebody is standing on a point. Your favorite characters are appearing and disappearing like the weather. You are waiting with a house pet. You want to see them again, and you think this is possible. Mountain time is slower. You have a chance if you face west. More indigenous people live there. Go east, There's only water and our cousins who live in the rivers. But you don't know them very well. And this one is my last one for now. Color, light, and darkness. Shade and darkness. Evening of the deluge. Dog cries with puppy, horse, and cow. Morning after Moses writing, while the souls swam to the whirl of sun, mouth the swallow sand, empty of heart, empty of energy. Quiet and fresh, we camped, we packed, we waited, we cried, lost so much to freedom. And because I look too close, I see nothing but fine, gossamer effort. So thank you so much to Jessica Slote and to Joanie, Hieger, Zosike for joining us, and thank you to you beautiful people for joining us today. And we'll be back next month with another poetry event coming out of the garden, and I hope you all stay healthy and safe during these very confusing and difficult times. Thank you.